fired a member of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve. Her name is Lisa Cook. She's been a Fed governor since 2022. She is the first black woman to serve on the Fed board in its 111-year history. And in that entire 111-year history, no member of the Fed's board has ever been fired by any president. And that's not because presidents haven't wanted to do it. It's because a president is not legally allowed to fire members of the Fed board just because he feels like it. The Federal Reserve Board is an independent body charged with setting monetary policy for the United States. It was created to be independent precisely so presidents could not monkey around with stuff like interest rates. Trump has been threatening for months to fire the head of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, because Trump publicly insists simultaneously that even though the American economy is totally awesome and the hottest it's ever been, somehow also Jerome Powell is responsible for how terrible the economy is, or something. It's been a little hard to follow. In recent days, Trump has turned his ire toward Powell's colleague, Lisa Cook, claiming that his administration has uncovered some kind of evidence that she committed mortgage fraud. Ms. Cook has not been charged with any wrongdoing. She has certainly not been convicted of anything. But tonight, in a letter to Lisa Cook that he posted online, Trump says he's firing her because of the unproven fraud accusations his administration has produced against her. We have no evidence that Trump's accusations are true. But even if President Trump, harbors doubts about her rectitude or whatever, it's not at all clear that he has the legal authority to fire her on that basis. Like I said, no president has ever fired a member of the Fed board before Trump has announced that he intends to do or is proclaiming himself to have done so tonight.
The governor of Florida is rewriting history, and not in a subtle way. There's a new clip in which he says, hey, Florida was shortchanged in the last census, and he blames it on the Biden administration. The problem is the last census did happen when Donald Trump was president. These people seem to be unable to keep it straight. Trump's been bending over backwards now to get back in Donald Trump's good graces. The whole context of what DeSantis said is that he thinks Florida needs to get more seats. They are terrified about what might happen in 2026. But here's DeSantis seemingly confused about who was president when.
Congressional map. Florida has been growing. It's been growing a lot since I've been governor. But even before that, it was adding population, not at the same rate. And we got shortchanged in the last census. We should have had 2 or 3 seats. We only got 1 seat, and that was really the Biden administration's doing. So we are working with the Attorney General in Florida, James Uthmeyer, to talk to the Commerce Department. He's written a letter. Even Biden's administration, a couple years after, acknowledged Florida got shortchanged.
Let's unpack this. First of all, what's the motivation? The whole reason that DeSantis is bringing this up now is he wants to justify squeezing another congressional seat for Florida. That would mean redrawing the map. The real game here is not to fix some imaginary Biden-era census problem. The only goal is get Republicans more seats, because the 2026 midterms could be a disaster. They might not be. I mean, Republicans might hold the House and Senate, but it could be a disaster for Republicans. The fear is palpable. They are terrified about the fact that if they lose the House in 26, that is it for Trump's agenda. Trump has no elections to run, but it will imperil every single Republican's opportunity to get reelected in 2028. They know they're bleeding support. They know the Republican brand is in a free fall. They know a bad midterm flips the House and then Trump gets nothing done for years. So they now want to go back. They're going back and distorting facts. They're pretending that the census that Trump ran is somehow Joe Biden's fault. But the 2020 census was conducted under Trump's Commerce Department. The director of the census was selected by Trump. Now, we had pandemic chaos. There was this compressed counting period. There were lawsuits over, what about excluding undocumented immigrants? It was all under Donald Trump. Biden was not in office. If you admit that, you can't point the finger at Democrats.
I could run a tape here of all the Republicans who said, we're not going to cut Medicare. Medicare is different. We're going to protect Medicare. We've heard the president say it. It was all hogwash. It was all complete hogwash. The sneak attack is underway, And I'm going to tell you how it works. The Beautiful for Billionaires bill added $3.4 trillion or more to the debt. The Republicans had to lift the debt limit by $5 trillion. So it's a big number added to the debt. Our technical term for it around here is that it triggers sequestration. And when you create that much added debt, when you run up deficits that badly, as the Republicans have done to fund their billionaire tax cuts, here's what happens to Medicare. And this is from the Congressional Budget Office. Between 2026, next year, and 2034, this trigger will produce $535 billion in cuts to Medicare. They don't want you to know that. They don't want to tell you that. They'd like it to just happen automatically so they don't have fingerprints on it. But their fingerprints are all over it.
So the U.S. State Department has stopped issuing worker visas for commercial truck drivers in this country. Okay, that's cool. Y'all think shit is expensive now or getting expensive now because Donald Trump has decided to fuck with undocumented immigrants? You know, the people that come into contact with probably 95% of the food you eat every single day, whether it's fruits, vegetables, meats, anything like that. And his fucking tariffs have raised the price of everything else. We're almost 60,000 drivers short right now in this industry. Let's see what happens to prices next year or the year after that when we're 80,000 drivers short, 90,000 drivers short, 100,000 drivers short. And the State Department has all kinds of dumb fucking excuses as to why they're doing this. Well, you know, some of these immigrants, they don't speak English real well, and you need to be able to speak English to drive one of these trucks. Motherfucker, this industry is dominated by Trump-supporting conservatives. Have you seen most of their social media posts? These motherfuckers can barely read and write and speak at a second grade level. That can't be the fucking reason. Well, you know, they're causing dangerous accidents on the interstate. There are tens of thousands of accidents every fucking year. How many of them do you think are done by people that look like me? Like, I guarantee you undocumented immigrants aren't the cause of the mass majority of accidents on the fucking interstate. So that's not a valid reason either. Or, well, we're trying to get more Americans into the trucking industry. It's not going to fucking happen. You can try to promote it all you want. Until pay gets better and benefits get better and regulations start making sense, it's not going to fucking happen. Not only that, who wants to do a job where the moment somebody finds out you do that job, they assume you're fucking stupid? Go through most of my videos where I've done anything like this. Count the number of times where somebody has said, oh, that's adorable, the truck driver thinks he knows shit about whatever. Which is actually funny because, like I said, this industry is still pretty much dominated by the Trump-supporting conservatives. So you guys are kind of making fun of yourselves in that respect. Not realizing that we've got 13 hours a day to listen to fucking audiobooks or whatever. But yeah, no, that shit's not going to happen either.
Earlier today in the Oval Office, Donald Trump looked at the assembled cameras and asked for me personally to say, Mr. President, can you do us the honor of protecting our city? Instead, I say, Mr. President, do not come to Chicago. You are neither wanted here nor needed here. Your remarks about this effort over the last several weeks have betrayed a continuing slip in your mental faculties and are not fit for the auspicious office that you occupy. Most alarming You seem to lack any appropriate concern as our commander-in-chief for the members of the military that you would so callously deploy as pawns in your ever more alarming grabs for power. As I've said many times in the past, members of the National Guard are not trained to serve as law enforcement. They are trained for the battlefield, and they're good at it. They're not trained to arrest people and read them their Miranda rights. They did not sign up for the National Guard to fight crime. And when we call them into service, we are reaching into local communities and taking people who have jobs and families away from their neighborhoods and the people who rely upon them. It is insulting to their integrity and to the extraordinary sacrifices that they make to serve in the Guard, to use them as a political prop, where they could be put in situations where they will be at odds with their local communities, the ones that they seek to serve.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John.
Good morning. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Am I coming through loud and clear? Test, 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 test. Let's see. Am I coming through loud and clear? All right. Test, test, test. I believe the mic is on. I forgot to turn my Do Not Disturb thing on, and a call just came in. It kind of knocked us off for a second. And once the show is running, I really can't go in and do that kind of stuff. Let's see. So, all right, guys. Thanks everyone for being here. It is 9:21 a.m. Pacific Time Zone here in beautiful Las Vegas. Right now, it's only 79 degrees. Usually when we come on, it's already like 90 or 95. Today's high only 89. We do finally have some sort of a monsoon or some weather going through. It's bringing a little bit of rain, and it's knocking the temperatures down a little bit. So that's nice. Now, I don't know if some of you saw the unboxing video that I did yesterday. I ordered the microphone, and I got the microphone. Unfortunately, that microphone does not work with this. You can't just plug it into a phone, even though when I read the fine print, the description of the microphone, it said it was iPhone compatible. But I don't believe it is, even though I did order this little adapter so that I can plug it in, but I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work. But here it is. I have it all set up. Here it is on this nice boom here. Boy, I'm really lagging behind. My phone is really lagging behind. Or less. Oh, I guess maybe not. Well, I can't even see the microphone. That's pretty amazing. This microphone is like right this far from my face, but you can't even see it. But so here it is. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and here's what I got. It's weird, really weird. Okay, so it's weird how to point this thing. So it's got the nice boom arm here. It attaches. It's got like a little thing, like a little. I think you just attach it to the table. God, it's. I hate this setup here. Let's just try it this way, maybe. So there it is there. And see how it just attaches right to the thing. It's a really great setup. It's really great. It's not plugged in to power right now, but this has like a light if you want the light, which I don't really care. It has a mute button. It has a volume control. It's a very nice microphone. But I don't believe it's going to work. You know, with my setup. So it's pretty cool. I can put it right here. It's literally 4 or 5 inches from my mouth. I'm sure it would. I'm sure this would be. This would work great. You know, but it's just not made to just hook up into to an iPhone. So I think I either might just box it back up and return it, or I might keep it and for when I do have a computer that I can plug it into. So I don't know. I'm not really sure what I should do because who knows how long it'll be before I can get a computer, and then and this thing will just be sitting in a box, which I guess is okay, but I don't know. So I think what I'll do, I mean, I guess this is working good enough for now. My lavalier, maybe I'll just order another lavalier with a clip, maybe, or can just continue to use this. You know, whatever. I don't know. What do you guys think I should do? Anyhow, I remember I'm not able to scroll back to the very beginning of the chat. I do believe Sandy Foltz was first and Paul Burrows was second. And they got in really, really early. And after that, I don't know the order, but I'm picking up where Linavois is here, and it says Goydale. So Linavois, that's where we're picking up. Michael Andrews is next, who says, let's go. Alvin Stube is here. Hey, Alvin, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Linavois says, it's very quiet. Maybe the mic unboxing more drawn out. No, but I did last night. I wanted to get this adapter. I wanted to see if it would work, if I could plug it into the phone. So I Ubered down to Walmart, which is way down. It's kind of like north of here, just like few miles. They didn't have it in stock. I could order one, but I waited because I wanted to see. So then I went to Best Buy, which is way the other way, another several miles back the other direction, opposite direction. So I went to Best Buy. They didn't have it. There was a Target 0.8 of a mile away from Best Buy. Now, 0.8 of a mile doesn't sound like that far, right? I mean, like, that's less than a mile. I can do that. So I just went ahead and walked to Target, and it was okay. But I mean, it's just, it's just kind of the stuff I was doing. I'm walking around Walmart. I'm walking around Best Buy. Then I walked 8/10 of a mile to Target. I went to Target. Target didn't have it. They didn't have anything like that. The guy I spoke with, he said he's never seen anything like that because I have a picture of the little adapter that I want. He goes, I've never even seen one of those. So what I ended up doing is right there at Target, I just went ahead and went back on the Walmart website and I just ordered it. But the thing won't come. It's not supposed to come until, it says, between this Saturday and next Tuesday. It's not like Amazon, man. And I didn't see it on Amazon either, this little part that I need. So it's kind of hard. Apparently it's hard to find. But if I had to order it from Amazon, it would probably be here right now. I mean, that's how fast Amazon is. But so anyhow, and even with that adapter, I don't know if it'll work. I don't think it's designed to work just a plug into the phone type of deal. It's made to be plugged into a computer or a game system because it did say that you could plug it into PlayStation 5, but I don't have PlayStation 5 and I don't, work it that way. Now I was eating some cereal, so pardon me. I was trying to get that in before the intro ran out, and I didn't. Let's see. Alvin Soup, he's eating his breakfast. I was trying to eat some cereal. I made some coffee over there. It's ready for me. I just got to go put some cream and sugar in it. So yeah, I was running around all over the place trying to find that damn little. It's basically just a female to male deal from this cord, which has it has this. You can see that. So the female would go on here, and then the other side is the lightning connector to go into the phone. But even then, even if I plug it into the phone, I don't think it's going to work. But we'll see. I ordered the part. It was only $1.89 for this stupid little adapter. So I went ahead and ordered it, or maybe no, it was $1 something. Yeah. Somehow it came to $7 with the ship. I guess I think it was a $5 shipping fee or something, and tax and everything. So hopefully it'll work, though. I mean, I probably won't. I mean, I don't have my hopes up, but I really do like the microphone. I mean, I really do love. Now, I did watch some reviews, some videos on it, on this exact model that I got, and there was one guy saying that he said the boom arm. He said it's trash. He said don't even get it because as you're talking, it sort of sends a vibration or something down the arm here, and it has these springs, and these springs will vibrate as you're talking. Now, this is what he said. And I watched probably a half a dozen videos on this microphone last night, trying to get information about it, and he's the only one that said that. So I don't know if it's that bad or not. I guess I won't really know until I actually am able to use it. But it's a great microphone. I would love it. I could just set it right here. Right now, you can just see how I moved it into the shot. I think, right? Yeah. And a lot of times I could just be like right here, and well, now it's in the shot. But it seems like it would be a great mic, but I don't know. I guess I did the wrong thing. I kind of maybe should have researched a little bit more before I made that purchase. Let's see who else we got here. We got Belfast Bob. Hello, Belfast Bob from Ireland, all the way from Ireland, coming in. Good to see you. The Soulcraft's here. Hey, Soulcraft. Soulcraft. Josh Sees is here. Hey, good to see Josh Sees. DeSantis reminds me of Ralph Wiggum. I don't know who Ralph Wiggum is. I probably do, but I don't. Anna Moore is here. Hey, Anna Moore, good to see you. Thanks for being here. We got what? We got Big Hook. Someone said hi to Big Hook. Did I skip over Big Hook? I don't know. I don't see Big Hook. I have it on all messages. Oh, there's Big Hook. Because Big Hook says, hi, you turtle toes. And so hello, Big Hook. Thanks for being here. Deborah Murphy is here. Hello, Deborah Murphy. User -PH9WT3UE7C, otherwise known as William, is in the chat room. So good to see old William there. Thanks for coming on in. I'm going to run over and grab my coffee real quick. So you guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to go put some cream and sugar in it, so it might take me a couple seconds. I might take a couple bites of my cereal. I got Lucky Charms. I'll be right back. All right. Sorry about that. I made some coffee. I forgot to get. I was going to get some water. I have just a tiny little bit of water left, and I forgot. I was going to get another bottle, and I forgot. Oh well. So I also made some toast while I was doing that. So now you guys get to watch me eat toast, and I know you guys love it. I know you guys love it when to watch people eat. So there you go. See, this is what I usually do during the intro, but I just threw that intro together last second, and it wasn't very long. And during the intro, I was doing other stuff. So anyhow, all right, guys, thanks for being here. I do appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out here on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Beautiful fascistic Tuesday. Maybe I should start a new thing on Friday. Fascistic Fridays. Big Hook says exaggerated lies are part of conservative hypocrisy. Yeah, during the intro, lots of things about that. I know this is not proper podcasting etiquette, but since when did that ever stop me? Carrie C is here. Good to see Carrie C. Thanks for being here. Big Hook. Everything is just 2 weeks away. Sandy Fold says, "Hi, Josh. I'm going on vacation starting tomorrow. Nice. Are you going to Wisconsin?" And that's what Josh is asking, where are you going? Big Hook says, "Remember the health plan and infrastructure plan, always 2 weeks away. The lie told continuously." Deborah Murphy says, "Our National Guards are not ICE. They are military and need, if we have hurricanes, fires, and floods. Yeah, they help out in emergencies like that, natural disasters." Roxanne79 is here. Hey, Roxanne, good to see you. Yeah, Sandy says she's going to Wausau, Wisconsin. Is that how you say it? Wausau? To join or to go visit her son. No, it's not really a dongle, Josh. I mean, it's like a dongle, but it's not. It doesn't dongle. It's just one straight piece. It just fits right over the end of it. It doesn't dongle. Oh, there's Jen at the base. Hey, Jen, good to see you. Anna Moore says a governor has the right to refuse to deploy the National Guard in response to the president's request for non-federalized duty. Yeah, but will that stop Trump? Because I don't believe Gavin Newsom requested National Guard, and yet there they were. And I think he specifically, said no, we don't need them. How do you stop a lawless president? I guess you impeach him. So Republicans aren't going to do that. Said he folds. If it does not work, send it back. Roger Dodger, get a clip. That's for the lavalier, a clip, right? A clip for the, yeah, that won't work, but. Big Hook says, coming in loud and clear. So probably best to stay with what works. Big Hook's got to go to sleep. So thanks for dropping by, Big Hook. MJ Daniels here says, good morning from the free state of Washington. Now here's a story that I'm interested in. Deborah Murphy says, Abreu Garcia goes to court at 2 o'clock today. Judge is mad blonde. Got mad because he refused their per sentencing plan, so they put him in prison in Virginia. Lots of he's and that's and those. I'm not sure who you're talking about. This fucking administration has the fucking nerve to say they're going to deport him to fucking Uganda. When does it end, man? When does this fucking nightmare end? My God, this is the longest nightmare I've ever been in. Hey, Doug is here. Doug just says Honey Nut Cheerios. I don't know if that's what Doug is currently eating or was eating, if that's Doug's favorite cereal, or if that's what Doug thinks that I was eating, because I was not. I was eating Lucky Charms. Sandy Foltz, TJ says, TJ, I start my vacation tomorrow, but I will still be on the chat. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you sticking with us, even when you're on vacation. Oh, MJ Daniel says, The Simpsons, Ralph Wiggum is just right for DJT, sitting in the Oval Office eating school paste and saying, I'm a military. Soulcraft is getting rid of some chairs, some recliners. And I guess he's putting a hospital bed for his dad, who's been quite ill, and he's going to be in there now, I guess. Roger Dodger, be back after the toast. Okay, I have finished my toast. So, in case you're listening, no more toast eating. MJ Daniel says, I put all of this shit show on the Republican Senate and Congress. It is their duty to the U.S. Constitution, and they could stop most of it with 5 to 6 of them doing the right thing, yet they refuse. They're still afraid of this motherfucker. They're still afraid of fucking Trump and MAGA. Spineless fucking cowards. Now I get, like, you know, you want to keep your cushy seat, whether it's in the House or the Senate. You know, it's a nice little deal. You get nice health care. You know, those are nice salaries. Most of them are millionaires or they become millionaires. So that little salary, it probably just becomes a little slush fund for them to buy, you know, underage people to fuck, whether it's male or females or, you know, same sex or opposite sex. So I mean, I can understand kind of going along, not making too many waves. You know, you just want to keep your position there. But God, where do they have a line? I don't think they have a line to draw. They don't even draw a line. I mean, but don't you draw the line at destroying the country, at bringing the country down, and destroying the Constitution? I guess they just don't give a fuck because they think that they're safe. You know, they really have no values. They really are lying pieces of shit, these Republicans. They always talk about family values and, you know, they believe in the Constitution. It's all bullshit. It's all fucking bullshit. They don't believe in anything other than just their own comfort, you know, and everyone else be damned. Lindeval says they should honor their oaths of office. Exactly. And they don't. Michelle's here. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Good morning to you, too. No, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Anna Moore says, I think in California's case, Trump federalized the National Guard. MJ Daniel, oh yeah, he claimed it was an emergency or whatever because of one burning Waymo car. MJ Daniel says, it is also the sworn duty of the U.S. military to refuse illegal orders, and this is all very obviously illegal. The most dangerous thing now is silence. And we've talked about that yesterday. Hopefully, these soldiers will refuse illegal orders. But, you know, all it takes is one or two or a handful to not refuse illegal orders, and now they're carrying weapons, loaded weapons, and of course everyone went right to Kent State, as you should. Josh says he's buffering. Hopefully, I mean, I don't hope it's on anyone's end, but I don't see it on my end. So hopefully, we're okay. It might be something on your side, maybe. Kevin Anderson, 7 Troll Slayer, is here. If it comes to it, I hate to say it, John, but back in the day, presidents like him were found dead. Well, you know what? I've been saying that for a while now. that, okay, look, these millionaires and billionaires, they got some really nice tax cuts, but at what cost? Once their businesses start to fail, I mean, don't they need to still make profits? Don't they need to still um, have prices that people can afford to buy shit? Not only is he pissing off the liberals and the Democrats, which he doesn't give a fuck about, but once he starts losing his oligarch base and losing MAGA at the same time due to Epstein, so that's why Epstein, and he starts getting it from all sides, that's when he's really in trouble. And by the way, let's not forget this. Epstein survivors will be having press conferences on September 3rd. There's a link down there, I guess, and then it says the new news conference is scheduled to take place at House Triangle in Washington, D.C. at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time on September 3rd. Spread the word. And I just put that up there mainly just to keep don't let Epstein get forgotten or we just move on to all these other things. Let's keep Epstein up in there, up in that shit. But yeah, once you start getting hated by all sides and you're an island unto yourself, yeah, he could. Hey, Mr. Spock is here. There's no spamming alert. Yeah, sometimes there's a glitch where sometimes stuff posts twice like that. Anna Moore says Trump and his whole administration need to be removed from office. I agree. And then Mr. Spock alerts us to the no spamming alert by spamming. That's ironic, right? And probably an intentional use of the humor there. Yeah. MJ Daniel, this is coming from the psychotic brain of Stephen Miller. Today's show brought to you by the psychotic mind of Stephen Miller. Michelle says, I worry about our military and our citizens, as do I. As do I. Sunnyfold says, TJ, did you get the video I sent you of my new bit? I did, and I gave it a thumbs up. I've seen those. I almost was going to order one of those when I was in my other apartment 2 apartments ago. Those are pretty cool. So you actually got it because the video showed. It looks like that was the video from the sofa company. But I was actually thinking about buying one of those. They look pretty cool. MJ Daniel says, if these fucking Republicans say they are afraid now, just wait. This is nothing compared to what they have planned, and maybe they need to be more afraid of we the people. Also, something I've been saying, eventually the shit will hit the fan. And it will be just more than some peaceful protests here and there. There's going to be, there's 340 million people in this country, and we can be slow to react. We can, as I say, the masses are asses. Just in the way, what I mean in that is it's just hard for a lot of information to just really seep in and get into the masses. But once it does, then you've got 340 million people, most of which are going to be pretty pissed off about the destruction of their country, of their democracy, of their constitutional republic, as some like to call it. There's not going to be if Trump wants to really become a dictator and just be the king of America and tear up the Constitution, that's not going to just happen quietly. Like I say, we might be a little slow to react as a whole. It takes a while for things to seep in and for everyone to get on the same page. But something like that. And I never did see the movie Civil War. That's kind of what I think the movie was about, maybe. And I should see that movie because some people have asked me if I've seen it, and I haven't. And I'm going to try to make a note of seeing it because I have a feeling that's, from what I saw in the trailers, it seems like that's what it's kind of about, where things just finally fucking break apart, and we go into a civil war. But I don't know. Maybe that's not what it is about. But it's one thing for a good portion of Americans to, I guess, identify with, with the racism and the misogyny and the homophobia, but everyone has a line, even the maggots. And once Trump has crossed that line, and we have everyone, liberals and Republicans and maggots and is there a left equivalent to maggots? Whatever, I don't know. Antifa? I don't know. I could see there being a real uprising, and so I don't know. But I don't think people are going to just take this lying down at some point. I know a lot of people in chat are like, "Come on, well, let's do something." Why people need to do stuff. I think they will. Comedy Mothership says, "I agree with what this good man has to say about Republicans. Just wish he would expand it to almost all of the Democratic politicians as well." Okay, so that was probably in the intro. That might have been, was it Sheldon Whitehouse that you're talking about? But that would be a contradiction of what he said. Maybe you weren't listening to what he said. He said, this has Republicans' fingerprints all over it. Why would he then say, and the Democrats too? He's obviously pointing out how the Republicans are the ones that are going after, Medicaid, and that if that's the one you were talking about, if that's the clip you were talking about. So it would make no sense for them to go, and Democrats are also complicit in this. He was specifically calling out the Republicans. So it would make no sense to throw the Democrats in there too. And I know that was just your way of wanting to say this is both sides, both siderism. The both siderism is bullshit. Okay, I know Democrats aren't perfect. Democrats make mistakes, and we have had some bad ones over the years. But by and large, they are not the same as the Republicans. They don't both do it. And I've said over and over and over again, and I guess I need to say it again. Every time the Republicans get in office and they hold Congress, the economy crashes. And every time the Democrats come in, they clean up the mess, they turn around the economy and get things going. And then people get complacent and they don't vote. And then they let Republicans back in, and then Republicans crash it all over again. And we've seen this cycle at least since Reagan, which is now over 45 years or whatever ago, right? What more proof do you need than that? No, both sides don't do it. Both sides aren't equally as bad. The Republican Party is horrible Horrible. They do horrible things to this country and to the people of this country. Democrats, I believe, overall, are very well intentioned and not perfect, but I like the results a lot better than whatever we had under Republicans. MJ Daniels says, by the way, hi, Jolie. I'm not sure if I said hi to Jolie. So, hello, Jolie. MJ Daniels says, go listen to Lindsey Graham, Rubio, VP Couch Sniffer, and others a couple of years ago talking about DJT, biggest fucking hypocrites ever. Yeah. Lindsey Graham, yeah, after January 6th, the first thing he said was this guy's unhinged. Rubio, was talking about, how Trump is a liar and he's not really 6'3" or whatever, all that kind of stuff. Of course, Vance, the couch sniffer Vance, he said that Trump is America's Hitler. Isn't that what I think he called him? America's Hitler. That isn't. You don't get any more, anti-Trump than that. I don't think. And now the motherfucker is his vice president, and Rubio is his Secretary of State, and Lindsey Graham is his designated, bald gurgler. Ivy Joe Rains is here. Hey, Ivy Joe, good to see you. Thanks for coming on into the old driver's lounge. Good to see you. Company Mothership says it ain't buffering now. Well, that's good. Mr. Spock says 2 people dressed as cops but unalived by the homeowners. Okay. Thanks for that breaking news. Josh says, I think it was my connection. Probably because I don't know if anyone else is having that issue. James Jaramillo's here. Hey, James, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Comedy Mothership says, Mr. Spock and Josh conversation seems pretty intense. Richard, the expat from down under, is here. Says there is no longer a Republican Party, but rather a Trump-looking party. One of Richard's favorite posts there, I think. We've seen that quite a few times. MJ Daniel says, I have been saying in the USA, nation of the Second Amendment, ICE is going around with no identification or anything is a bad idea. Many Americans tend to shoot first. Yeah, something's going to happen. And that's going to spark a real bad reaction. I mean, someone's going to shoot an ICE officer, and then ICE, backed up by National Guard or whatever military Trump brings in, he might bring in regular military, and that could escalate real quick and get a bunch of people killed. And I can see that happening. Richard said Newsom would make a great POTUS. I think so. If you like Joe Biden, I think that Gavin Newsom would do everything to the economy that Biden did, if not even better. Building off of what Biden was doing. So for sure, economy-wise, I think Gavin Newsom would be great. Comedy Mothership, it's been getting worse. You're just so full of comedy. It says it's getting worse for decades. Now, I just got knocked off. I apologize. I forgot to. I usually go to Do Not Disturb, and now, goddamn phone call coming. Anyhow, okay, so it's been getting worse. Are you talking about what's been getting worse? The country as a whole has been getting worse. for decades. I don't know. I mean, I think under Joe Biden things were getting pretty good. So I don't know what you're talking about. William, otherwise known as user-ph9wt3ue7c, or otherwise known as William, says Midas Touch is going to cover that press conference live. The one that I have posted there, I guess, is what he's talking about. Did I miss something here? I must have skipped over something. Because you guys are talking about like, what are you talking about? Oh, Richard said Newsom would make a great president, and Kevin Anderson said he's not going. Wait, on MTN, he said, I already told everybody I'm not running for president. Newsom said he's not running for president? I have not heard that anywhere. Comedy Mothership coming in all conspiracy here. Have you noticed how they never rescind the surveillance state or the police state? It just keeps encroaching on us, and the good guys never rescind any of it. I do see how Donald Trump is creating a police state. By sending in the National Guard and having them patrol our streets with Humvees. That's a police state. Music of the World is here. Music of the World, good to see you. Music of the World says the Republicans will go along with it in lockstep. Yeah, they're marching in lockstep. They're goose-stepping all the way. Richard says that Trump should be sent to Siberia. So Mr. Spock is talking about these, I guess, two people that were dressed up as cops, and the homeowners apparently. I'm so sorry. You know what? I keep getting a goddamn phone call, and I need to go in and go to my settings. Hopefully, we're back. I just went into my settings real quick to be back on Do Not Disturb. God, I hate that. So anyhow, hopefully we're back and everyone can see me. All right. So anyhow, so Mr. Spock was talking about this case. For some reason, we're talking about some local murder case, I guess. Mr. Sparks says the homeowners got a knock on the door saying that they were police with a warrant. They noticed no other vehicle. A pew-pew broke out. Why can't we just say a shootout broke out? The fake cops lost. Why are you going to say pew-pew instead of shooting? This is TikTok mentality. We're not on TikTok. We're on YouTube. Anyhow, I hate this TikTok making us have to talk like babies or something. Robert Carr says it's going to take a civil war to fix this, as Trump's already said he's not leaving even after his term is over, and everything they are doing is to keep him in power, ignoring the Constitution. And I was just thinking yesterday, like, what the fuck does he hope to really gain? He's almost 80 years old. He's in very poor health. He probably doesn't have more than a few years left in him. So he's going to destroy. I guess this is part of the whole narcissist thing or whatever. But he's going to tear down the country, destroy the Constitution, destroy our democratic democracy. Let's get all those things in there. All just so he can be the king of America for like 3 more years before he croaks. Really? Yeah, apparently really. Mad Max here, Slava Ukraine, absolutely. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. I did put on the little thumbnail today. I hadn't really done anything like that in a while. And I think it was time to make sure that the internet knows that here at Trucker John channel, we support Ukraine. Mr. Spock says they want this to give them an excuse to do more evil. Susie Jones is here. Susie Jones says 21st century suffragettes, 4 p.m. Eastern. I just sent a video of Tiffany. Doesn't? Is that her name? Doesn't? And Kate Johnson testimony. Hopefully we'll cover it. Yeah, hopefully. Comedy Mothership says, I would vote for you, but not the Democrats. For the most part, case by case, never Republican. Okay, so you would vote for me, even though I'm not running for anything. But not for Democrats for the most part. Maybe there's a Democrat or two you might vote for. But never Republican. So at least I agree with you that on the never Republican part. So if you're not going to vote for Republicans and you're going to vote for me, even though I'm not running for anything, and there might be a Democrat or two that you would vote for, then who else are you voting for? Who the hell are you voting for? Hey, WW's here. W says, hey, gang, black and white politics, that's what we need. Us or them, saints versus deplorables. And I think that was with snark. I think that was with tongue in cheek. Because W is always the one that comes in and says, but you can't just have all Democrats. You gotta, so I'm going to vote for some Republicans just to even things out. Instead of voting for the best person, you know. Comedy Mothership says, Democrats overall go along with the horrible things the Republicans do and other crumbs, but I think you are good. Well, thank you. I'm glad you think I'm good. Democrats don't go along with the horrible things Republicans do. Democrats introduced a bill to eliminate gerrymandering. You realize that, right? And you know what? Every single Democrat voted for it. Not one single Republican voted for it. Democrats had a bill when Biden was president to fix the border issues and immigration issues. And the Republicans wouldn't go along with it at the orders of Donald Trump, who wasn't even president yet. So the parties are not the same. If we do get something this so-called bipartisanship, it usually means the Democrats were able to get 3 or 4 Republicans to come on board. Hey, Teresa TAK is here. Hello, Teresa. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on into the Driver's Lounge. I appreciate you being here. WW says Democrats should still remain on their high horses. As long as they don't admit their mistakes last year, they will keep losing. Yeah, the mistake of what? Having the nominee drop out because of health issues. That's the Democrats' fault. I think the Democrats did the best they could under that situation. It was an unusual situation, and they did the best they could. So I don't understand what Comedy Mother says that makes me like Vance a little bit, but he is Peter Thiel's stooge. What makes you like Vance? Did I skip something? I'm not sure what makes you like Vance. Oh, that he called Trump America's Hitler, but then he completely dropped all that. If you think that Trump is America's Hitler, you don't become his vice president unless you're okay with him being America's Hitler. Rochelle says, I'm so glad that Republican Party is calling out Republican Congress. I haven't seen that. You might want to expound on that. I'm not sure what you're talking about. MJ Daniel says both sides is a Republican bullshit, except for maybe Eisenhower. It is the Democratic Party that made the U.S. the power it is today. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Eisenhower would be a Democrat if he were alive today. And you know, cognizant. Alvin Stoops says RFK Jr. said 180 plus whales killed by windmills and Trump is saving them. That's pretty funny. It's funny, but I'm hoping that's a joke, but it probably isn't, is it? He probably really said that. MJ Daniel says give him a solid Democratic majority and Newsom would make a fine president. I think absolutely. Absolutely. Damon Dog the Big Dog says, hey truckers, damn, I slept late. That's okay. We're just barely getting started. I'm still kind of waking up myself here a little bit. WW says JB Pritzker says it best, it is a pendulum and it swings across a wide middle ground. Public sentiments are fickle and revolve around pocketbook economy. And Deborah Murphy says they already killed 2 fake cops. I guess is that what Mr. Spock was talking about, right? Did I skip someone? I don't know. Jolie was saying hi to Robert Carr. I don't see Robert Carr in my chat. I don't think. Yeah, Anna Moran says, and this escalation will give him, Trump, excuse to waive the elections. Yeah, there's Damon Dog saying hello to everybody. Hello there, Damon Dog. WW says inflation hurts poor people. Biden didn't understand. Even if the economy is good, people vote for expenses. I believe when Biden left office, at the end of his term, I believe inflation was down to 2.9%. What more was the motherfucker supposed to do, Wes? He inherited a really shitty economy from Trump, where inflation was maybe double digits. And over the course of his 4 years, he took it down to 2.9%. What the fuck more do you want, motherfucker? Jesus Christ. MJ Daniel says, I like pretty much all the Democrats being considered for president, but we need to get Democrats back in the majority first, or things will get very ugly. Yeah, and really, all this talk about president is really premature about 2028. I agree. We need to concentrate on 2026 and see if we even get to 2026 as far as being able to have free and fair elections. But 2026 should be our focus. And then once we get that, if we do have the elections and we do have favorable results, like I'm hoping we will, as far as getting the House back and getting the Senate back, then we can go full bore on into the president. So it really is pretty premature, I think. I mean, it's okay to kick around some ideas here and there about that, but we're going to first see if we can get to 2026. Let's see here. WW says, hey, Jolie, I'm mostly listening. Da-da-da. Yeah, we'll just go back to listening. Mad Max says, I'll tell you what I see happening. Just like the staged assassination attempt, Trump will send someone out to shoot at troops, which will give them reason for martial law. Hitler did the same thing. Yeah, we've seen that. Yeah, we've seen this before. And Hitler did it. What was it? What was it called? The Maidan or whatever thing that they did a few years ago. Yeah, that kind of shit. And I could see that happening too, Mad Mac. That's why I hope we can keep, keep our heads here. WW says, Nixon tactics, say you will not run, then get your friends to beg you. Gavin can't run for the next 3 years. Well, it doesn't really matter. Nothing about 2028 matters right now. It should be, and it is all about 2026. So it doesn't matter who says they're running or not running for president in 2025. We're midway through 2025. There's plenty of time for people to jump on the presidential, who they're going to run, if they're going to run or not. So, and Newsom knows that. Okay. We're still very, very early when it comes to that. Hey, Robert here. Robert Perez is here. Hey, from San Diego way. Good to see you, Robert. Thanks for coming on in. I appreciate you. Robert says, "Yo, Trucker John, glorious morning to you and a groovy day to all Democratic voters. I'm stuck with my 2-year-old grandson, and he's stealing my attention from your show, laughing out loud." Well, that's okay. 2-year-old grandson, I'm sure, is not only a handful, but probably some good grandson, grandpa bonding going on there. There's WW with a $1.11 super chat. Thank you so much, WW. Yippee, going out to WW. I do appreciate the super chat. Kevin Anderson says, Sugar John, on the show, wait, what was that? He played a broadcast where Newsom said, "I told everybody I'm not running." I don't know. What show was that? I don't know. Well, I didn't see it, and this is the first I'm hearing of it. And he's probably not running right now. It's 2025. Of course he's not. No one's running for president right now. Hey, Nick Rich, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Nick Rich was like number 40. We got 44 watching, 46 thumbs up. So make sure you hit that thumbs up for me. That'd be great. We are operating like good Democrats at a surplus, but I think the bigger the surplus, the better. So let's do that. Look at all those darn spamming phone calls. Yeah, I think so. They were being spammed. But I went in. I shut my do not disturb. I've turned it on, so hopefully we won't get knocked off by any more stupid phone calls. Oh, there's Robert Carr says, "I'm good, my friend. I'm cancer free and working on other difficulties." Well, that's great. Awesome. You're cancer free. Congratulations. Sandy Phillips, what's with the white sheet in the left-hand corner? You're not seeing the words? You don't see on my screen, I'm seeing the words. Are you guys not seeing the words on the thing? Mad Max says, "Yes, I saw the Ukraine screen, TJ. Thank you. I felt obliged to see your show after seeing the flag screen. Joking. Seriously, thank you, Chucker John. Slava Ukraini." Absolutely. Slava Ukraini. MJ Daniel, I do not see one good third-party candidates at the moment, so I'm voting all Democratic. I'm a lifelong registered Democrat. I'm proudly one of the 27%. If you were watching Hal yesterday and he played a clip from Peanut Butter Dickhead, and then someone on that show was saying how 23% of Republicans are, Republicans no matter what, and 27% of Democrats are Democrats no matter what. I will proudly put myself in that 27%. I'm vote blue no matter who. I am Democrat or die. especially when it comes to the U.S. House of Representatives, the U.S. Senate, and the President of the United States. Especially those three categories of vote on your ballot. It's vote blue no matter who. It's Democrat all the way. You know. To me, it makes no sense. Even if I think there was a Republican, or even if I guess a third party or person. I mean, if a third party like or an independent like Bernie Sanders who caucuses with Democrats, and that would be different. If I lived in Vermont, I would probably vote for Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders from Vermont, because he's essentially a Democrat. You know, that might be the exception to the rule. The exception that proves the rule. I don't really understand that expression. No, the expression that proves the rule. Like if you say like the rule is, I will vote for all Democrats, but then Bernie proves the rule or whatever. The exception that proves. How does that prove the rule? I don't really understand that expression. I mean, but anyhow, you guys know what I mean. So Robert Carr says that Trump thinks that's true. Okay, so because I was asking earlier, why would he do this? He's almost 80 years old. He's in very poor health. It looks like he's going to die any second now. So why would he destroy the country and make this into a dictatorship? And Robert Carr answers it right here. It says Trump thinks he's passing the presidency down to his kids. He is trying to turn America into a cross between North Korea and Russia, and have this magical family where the the crown is passed on to the next firstborn son and all that horse shit. And it's just part of his legacy. It's not that he really gives a shit about Don Jr. or Eric and like he wants to pass this on to them because he thinks it'd be a good thing. He wants to pass it on because it would be the Trump dynasty. He wants to make this, a Trump dynasty type of a deal. Total narcissist. Nick Rich, 20 past the hour. I'm 17 minutes behind the latest, most recent chat or post or whatever we're calling it. Chat that was posted. Just so you know, when I say I'm 20 minutes behind, that's what I'm talking about. I'm 20 minutes behind the most recent post in the chat. Robert Carr, what mistakes? Did I say like Democrats have made mistakes? I'm just speaking in general terms. I know that Republicans aren't perfect, but I vote for Democrats. I'm a lifelong Democrat, and I prefer the Democratic Party and the Democratic candidates much more over Republicans. So I'll just say I know that they've made mistakes here and there. Because no one is perfect. I'm not talking about anything specifically. And then, that should be easy to figure out. Politics here. Politic says Vance has 2 beards. Nefarious enough. Hey, Nefarious, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Appreciate you being here. Kevin Anderson says Kamala and Walz wanted joy. Democrats? I guess there should be some punctuation there. Walz wanted joy. Democrats did everything to help us. The 2 campaigns between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, there could not be 2 campaigns that were so different from one another. It was like the difference between night and day, black and white. like I've said before, the Kamala Harris rallies, they were joyful. There was a lot of joy and happiness that you could feel. And I was there at one of them here in Vegas, and it was palpable. The joy and the positivity. And when I went to the Trump one here in Vegas, and I started getting surrounded by maggots, and people were yelling in my face, I didn't feel too much love. All I felt was really hatred and anger, and fear, and not my fear. I mean, I was being surrounded, and I turned around. There's these two dudes about 6'5", bearing down on me. Look like they're about ready to jump me from behind. So I'm not talking about my fear, but they seem fearful, like fearful that they're not going to be allowed to be fucking racist without Trump. Trump allows them to be racist and just allows their horribleness to come out, freely, and they don't want to lose that. Owen says Trump was acting like a shadow president throughout Biden's term over the MAGA Congress and Senate. It's why they didn't get hardly anything done. Yeah, yep. He's the one that killed that border bill. A prime example right there. Republicans want to say Democrats don't do anything about the border. Well, they sure as fucking tried to do it, but Trump didn't want to give them a win. He put politics over if he thinks there's an invasion going on at the border, and the border is so bad, but he knew that this bill would be good because he didn't want to give the Democrats anything to run on. Then it's just another case of Trump really being full of shit and not giving a one damn, not even one damn about what he claims is so unsafe for America. He doesn't care. It's all bullshit. It's all manufactured. Susie Jones says, hi, everyone. Hello, everyone. Just as I popped in my daughter's car, I guess, in her CA6. Nick Rich, Bidenomics worked great. It absolutely did. Bidenomics, the big Biden boom, was going great. And we would not be where we are now if Kamala Harris, if just a few more people had gotten up off their asses and voted for Kamala Harris, and she was the president right now, we would not be seeing inflation going up, prices going up at the grocery market. We would not see unemployment going up. We would not see job creation going into the toilet. We would not see any of this shit. Michelle, we were in a pandemic, right? And yet we were still the envy of the world because everyone else, we had 9% inflation. The rest of the world was having 15 and 20% inflation. Susie Jones says, I've been half listening, but been here lurking. Well, I'll take half as opposed to none. So thanks for half listening and being here. I do appreciate you. Owen says, now we have to play Stop the Steal. And then, I don't know what that div is, but or maybe Driving Me Crazy. Driving me crazy. You're driving me crazy. Robert Carr says that America will be bankrupt by 2028 if the Democrats don't get the House and Senate back. Trump's already added $7 trillion to the debt your great-grandchildren will still be paying off. Yeah, that's why. 2026 is so important, and hopefully we can stop. These blue state governors. Maybe the kind of the lower level courts have been doing some stuff to stop Trump. We can't let Trump get away with tampering with our voting system in 2026, especially. I mean, and we got, of course, there's going to be Russian involvement and Russian influence. There's going to be all Trump and all the things that he has lined up. Trying, like we said, a lot of people in here have said, and I don't disagree. He's trying to set it up where he has to call martial law and call off the election. It was like when he was talking to Zelensky, and they've suspended elections there because they're at fucking war. They're being bombarded by Russia and invaded by Russia for no reason, for no good reason. And then when Trump heard that, Zelensky said, "Yeah, we'll resume elections once we get the war over," and then Trump's like, "Huh? Really? You mean you're not having elections when there's a war? Huh? He does that shit, and so the wheels are turning in his fucking cavernous skull. He's like, "Well, maybe I could do something like that. Yeah, huh? Yeah. Call martial law, huh? I'll declare martial law, huh? Why don't you guys go blow up some more Waymos and I can declare martial law, huh? Ugh, God, I can't stand that fucker." Deborah Murphy says, I supposedly have 3 Democrats running for the Roger Marshall post. You don't know? I don't know where you're from. Deborah Murphy, I forget. And I don't know. I don't even know who Roger Marshall is. Nick Rich, be concerned with midterms first, 14 months away. Yep. Before you know it, it's going to be a year from now, and I'm going to be sitting here in my apartment in Las Vegas, and we're going to be going, man, this is it. We're almost to the midterms. Nick Rich, Blunt Politics, live in about a half an hour. Yeah. Now it's about, 13 minutes from Blunt Politics. I might go a little over since I started a little late, but if you guys jump over there there's to say hi from Trucker John or whatever. Josh C says, TJ, my wife watched some of your show the other day when you were pounding on the reality that we should call them congressional elections instead of midterms. She absolutely agreed. Congratulations, Josh. You have a very intelligent wife. And I was watching before the show a video. I guess it was a replay of Michael Cohen and JoJo from Jersey. And Michael Cohen started talking about the importance of the midterms. And I'm yelling at the TV, call them congressional elections! And he kept calling midterms and how important it is to vote in the midterms and get to the midterms. And I'm like, every time he said midterm, I'm literally yelling, congressional elections, congressional elections, congressional elections. So maybe if you're ever in a chat room and you're watching, maybe if it's live or whatever, and someone is saying midterms, maybe just politely go, those should be called congressional elections. Just start throwing that out there. Trademark Trucker John, by the way. Josh says she also said that you look like your name. I look like Trucker John. Well, I guess it's all appropriate then. Kevin Anderson, I'm a diehard Dim. Michelle, ride or die Dim. Me too. Wayne going, 939's here. Hey, Wayne, good to see you. Wayne's a going. Don't go, Wayne. Thanks for coming on in. I do appreciate you being here. Nick Rich, third parties don't work in the USA. Not at that level. I mean, there are some places where at state levels or local levels, I've seen Green Party or Libertarians or some other party that I can't even remember the name of. Sometimes they'll squeak in. But on the national level, it doesn't really work, especially when it's so very important that we have majorities in the House and majorities in the Senate. So it's really important. That's really a big factor of it. So you need to, if you want your party's policies to get through and you have a chance, then you need to vote for your party. And if you're an independent and you lean, let's say, you know, they have the left-leaning independents and the right-leaning independents. If you're a left-leaning independent, meaning that you're not, because I think some people, it could mean that you're in a third party or you're just not affiliated with any party. And if you're one of those folks, but you lean Democrat more towards them, then you need to realize that you need to vote for Democrats if you want any of your issues that are near and dear to your heart. And everyone has them, I think. Then you need to vote that way because it's important to get the numbers in Congress to get things passed. It does look like there might be some buffering going on for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with my modem. Captain Tripp says Democratic approval rating is 8%. America hates the Democrats, and the Democrats hate America. Hey, Captain Tripp, thanks for coming back. Thanks for coming in. I do appreciate you coming here. I do believe the 8% rating. I've seen the rating, and I think it's ridiculous. And I think we could probably put a lot of blame on maybe the Democratic Party, the DNC, Democrats as a whole of not getting their message out, not messaging right. And I think we can also put a lot of blame on legacy media, mainstream media, right-wing media, having such big influences on that. So we definitely need to do a better job with our messaging. But then you add this last part, which is total bullshit when you say that America hates Democrats. Because I don't know what's the Republican rating. I haven't seen theirs, but I bet you it's not much better or higher than the Republican one. And Democrats don't hate America. That's just total horseshit. If Democrats hated America, you know, they wouldn't try, because Trump hates America. So you've got it all wrong, Captain Trips. It's Trump and the maggots that hate America. They hate the Constitution. They hate freedom. They hate choice. They hate themselves because they don't believe in apparently higher wages or better job opportunities or better training and education or none of that. It's the maggots and it's Trump that really hates America. Trump hates America because he doesn't want there to be a pesky constitution that will keep him from being in power till the day he dies. So you got that backwards. But thanks for being here. Thanks for playing. Yeah, Robert Carr, Bernie says he's not running it. Oh, yeah. Well, I know that. Everyone knows that. Josh C. says, I'm registered as an independent because I was an idiot many years ago, but I always voted Dem. Well, like I was just saying, there are independents who lean left or lean to Democrats. So personally, I don't care if you're not registered, or if you register as in, but it's who you vote for that's important. Man, Mac, I've always heard the phrase as that is an exception to the rule. Yeah, but actually, the actual expression, I believe, is the exception that I've heard people say, the exception that proves the rule, and that's what throws me. And I've heard a lot of people say that, like that's the real that's the real expression, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Exception to the rule. If you just say, yeah, that's the exception to the rule, then that would make sense. But when people say that's the exception that proves the rule, that makes no sense to me whatsoever. I guess Wes is leaving. Thanks, Wes, for being here. Thanks for the super chat. Kevin Anderson says, Nick Rich, all third parties are saying is either don't worry about any party or why vote for them, vote for me. I make no sense. Captain Tripp says it's okay. Democrats, don't worry about the border. There has been an illegal border crossing in almost I think you meant. Do you mean there hasn't been? Well, yeah, there. I'll just maybe I shouldn't edit you. There has been an illegal border crossing in almost 4 months. That makes no sense. I think you meant there hasn't been an illegal border crossing in almost 4 months, which of course is horse shit. And I don't mind people coming in here with opposing points of view, but if you're going to come in here and just start polluting my chat room with a bunch of bullshit, with out and out false information, that's one way of getting booted out. At least come in with actual real facts and not just made up bullshit. If you don't want to get booted out. Wayne Goen says, hi, I bought a new Android phone today. First time using it now. Congratulations. I hope you like your new phone. I hope it's working out for you. Well, what do you guys think I should do with my microphone? Should I just go ahead? I know Sandy Folt said I should just send it back. Other than that, I don't remember anyone is saying it. Should I just send it back, or should I just keep it and then I'll have a really nice microphone for someday when I actually have a nice computer to hook it into? I'm leaning towards just keeping it, but I'll probably just keep it, I guess, and then because I do want to get a computer and run the show off a computer instead of running it off my phone. And then I can actually go to a platform like OBS or StreamYard, and I can do more things. Running off the phone, I'm really limited as to what I can do. So. Mad Max says maggots are so gullible. If their Supreme Orange pedo told them that they all should F their mothers, 50% would do it. The other 50% would be trying to find out who their mothers were. That's hilarious. That's hilarious, Mad Mac. Robert Carr says we're still not sure how he cheated his way back into power yet, and he did cheat. We need to make sure he can't do it again. Absolutely. I think there was cheating going on but I also think there was a lot of voter apathy that that we could have overcome the cheating if we hadn't had the voter apathy. Roger, just keep going, TJ. Oh yeah, I think about because I was talking about Boston Brian. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go over a little bit. We'll just have to overlap Brian for a little bit. Suzanne first episode says, "Bye everyone. I'm leaving Chat Planet. No respect for me." Well, for one thing, Suzanne, I'm not sure. Did I not say hello? Did I not see you? I apologize if I didn't see you. You might be gone already. I don't know, but I just know that you are welcome here, and we're always glad to see you. And for whatever time you were here, I appreciate you, and I hope you'll come back in sometime. Catherine Real Health Talk says, "Hi everyone. TJ, how about a giant orange in a diaper balloon flying from California State Capitol building? Might be funny. I know we wouldn't do that, but it would be funny." Well, they've had that big floating Trump in a diaper thing. I think that was in California for a while. That's been making its rounds around the country. Deborah Murphy says, "I live in Kansas. I cannot believe you do not know who Roger Marshall is. He is one of Trump's top guys." Well, sorry. I mean, I'm the type of guy who buys the wrong microphone. So how am I going to know who Roger Marshall is? I can't even buy the correct gear that I need. Do we still have a? Yeah, I still got a green light. Okay. So Robert Carr talking about the ballroom, the $200 million ballroom that Trump wants to make, says that ballroom is where he and his pedophile friends can find their next wives at the debutante balls for the young girls to be pimped out to his rich buddies. Yeah, the Jeffrey Epstein Memorial Ballroom. It actually, listening to that replay of the Michael Cohen, JoJo from Jersey deal, collab. Is that what the kids are calling it? Collab? One of them said, I think it might have been JoJo, that it should be called or Trump wants to call it like or maybe I think it was Cohen. He said that the reason he's building it is because of his legacy, and he wants that to be called like the Donald Trump ballroom or something, so that all future presidents, if they ever hold any events there, it'll have to be called the Donald Trump ballroom. But you know what? I do believe that a president could have power, enough power. One of the things the president could do, I think, would be to change the name. If Melania and Trump can go in and rip out the fucking Rose Garden and all that shit, then I'm pretty sure a future president could say, you know what, we're changing the name of this thing. In other words, if Trump names that ballroom after himself, which I wouldn't doubt that he would do, and if we have future presidents that are worth a damn, if we have future elections and we actually get a Gavin Newsom in there or whoever, a good Democrat in there, I would think day one is take the fucking Trump name off of that room, name it after fucking Joe Biden or something, you know. Wayne Goen says Focus loves JoJo and so do I. Who's Focus? I don't even know who. Or Ficus. Oh, Ficus. It's been so long since I've seen Ficus. I forgot all about him. Mad Max says, Robert Carr, check out Jessica Dinson's recent show with some tech guys who know the voting tabulation machine. They show how easy Elmo changed settings to make Kamala's votes into orange pedos. I need to see that evidence into being brought into a court of law where it can face, challenge, and it can be, where all the evidence is put out there to be checked out and verified by experts. Catherine Real Health Talk says if Bernie is not running again, nobody has the stones to say what he has been saying for years. That's it. AOC would. I think Sheldon Whitehouse would. I don't know if he's going to run, but I think there's a few out there that would. I think Jasmine Crockett would. I think even Gavin Newsom would. Wayne Goen says maggots love Russia. And who saw that coming? All these years, it was the right wingers that were always talking about the Ruskies and the commies and the pinko commies and all this shit. And now they just love Russia. They just have nothing wrong with Russia. Fancy's here. Hey, Fancy, good to see you with a $2 super sticker. Yippee, going on to Fancy. Thank you so much. Fancy is here, never fear. And I have been watching some of those videos Fancy's been putting out. Now the image of did I screenshot it? Oh, you know what? Shoot. See if I can get that. Does that really look like me? Now, these would have at least a little gray mustache and a little gray goatee, at least. I'm not clean shaven. I haven't been clean shaven in forever. I like the T-shirt though. It's kind of cool. Anyhow, that's what Fancy thinks I look like, I guess. But yeah, Fancy's making some cool videos. The editing is amazing. All the cuts to all the different, to match her video, her music that she's been making. Fancy, great job. Absolutely, 100%. And I didn't mean to just do like a white power sign. I meant that as, A-OK or something. Kevin Anderson says, Trucker John, Captain Trips is a troll. Captain Trips was a nickname for the virus in The Stand by Stephen King. Oh, look at there. Look at there, Kevin, solving the mystery. Wayne Goen, I'm not sure if I'm saying that last name right. Wayne Goen or Wayne Goen? No, I don't know. I'm just going to go with Goen. My old phone, only 4 months old, won't charge. I tried everything. It's a Xcode Android. I don't know what that means. So I hope the new phone works better. Robert Carr says they already have F their moms. They are inbredables. Nick Rich, 11 a.m. I'm 6 minutes behind. The latest posted chat. I'm almost caught up. Yeah, I'm caught up. Nick Rich, Politics is live. I'll start the convoy. All right, Nick. Yeah, if you go over there, make sure you just give me a little shout out. Say Trucker John Convoy, Trucker John Raid, hello from Trucker John, something like that. Catherine Real Health Talk says bulldoze the ballroom, get rid of it. I know, but then it's like, okay, so they're going to spend $200 million to build it. Now, did Trump say that was going to be made with or paid with by private funds, or is that taxpayer money? In any case, then we're going to spend money to tear it down. I'm sure it's going to be an eyesore, though. It's going to ruin probably the whole architecture and everything that's going on there. Robert Carr says, I've seen Jessica's show. I watch it religiously. Robert Carr says, you don't have that many chins. Yeah, not yet. Not quite that many, but almost. Almost. It's getting there. I like to stick my chin out like Trump does. Roger Dodger says, Nick, why are we taking audience with? Yeah, Nick. Well, I guess because in the past I've kind of jumped over there. I've tried to just jump over there. I don't think I'm going to do that anymore, though. Nothing against Brian, but I'm not going to go exactly like right now. We're at 2 hours, and this is when I'll probably start ending the show anyhow. So, if you guys want to jump over there or to Ross and Brian, that's fine. But if you want to hang out with me for a few more minutes, that's fine too. I love having you guys here. Linwell, I like it here. Thank you, Linwell. I'm glad you're here. But yeah, I'm going to be wrapping things up in a few minutes. Today's Tuesday, tomorrow's Wednesday, so tomorrow we'll be doing a 11 a.m. Pacific time. I'll see you guys at 11. In the meantime, I think I'm going to. Well, I guess I'm going to leave the mic out until I get that other little adapter thing, and just see if Miracle of Miracles it will work when I plug it into the phone. Because on the description, it did say that it was compatible with iPhones, iPhone 14, which I have, but they don't give you a cord for it. And I just have a feeling from all the videos that I watched about it, and what I got even from the website of the company I went to. Now I did send a chat in, like a question, and I asked them, will this work if I plug it into my iPhone? And then I left my email. They're supposed to email me a response. They may have already. I don't know. But so we'll see what happens on that. If not, we'll still just be using the lavalier here. Is coming in pretty good, I guess. I think maybe in the meantime I will order another one that I can actually just clip to my shirt. That way I don't have to worry about if I'm too far from the mic. Is it picking up or not picking up? That's why I like having this on the boom here, because if I feel like I need to get it closer to my mouth, then I can just set that baby like right there, and I'll be like, "This is Trucker John," and it has a headphone jack, so I can put headphones on, and I can really hear myself, and I can really when I can hear myself, I can really get the dulcet tones of Trucker John really in there. But so yeah, I like this setup with the boom and everything. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I mean, if it's not compatible, it's not compatible. But maybe because I've been holding out getting a computer because I wanted to get like a brand new one, a nice brand new MacBook, which are like 2,000. I think they're like 2,000 or 2,500. Maybe I should just set my sights on something maybe used, or maybe something that's $500 or $600, and I could probably afford that. I really can't afford a $2,000 or $2,500 computer, But maybe I should just set my sights a little lower and get something that's good and that will work. But it doesn't have to be something high end or whatever. Anyhow, lots of stuff to think about. David Dog says back just in time to say bye. Y'all have a great day. $100 at the grocery store for 5 days of meals. Yeah, I hear you, man. That's about what I've been spending, because now I just had groceries already this month. I've had 2 grocery deliveries. One was for $160 or $70, and then I did another one just a few days ago, or maybe it was last week, and it was like $100 or maybe a little over $100. And now I'm already out of milk. Oh no, I'm already out of bread. I'm out of orange juice. I'm out of eggs. So I feel like I need to do another, do some more groceries. I mean, I probably don't need to buy $100 worth of stuff, but and I buy those big 18 pack things of eggs. I'm out of eggs. Yeah, but still, it's cheaper than eating out at restaurants every day, which is what I used to kind of do a lot. So I'm trying to eat out at home more. John Glad to see John Glad says might be the phone jack. Gonna have to take it to a repair place. Oh, might be the phone jack. Did I miss something? Did I skip something? John Glad says hi. If you're talking about my deal, it has nothing to do with the phone jack. We talking about the buffering, maybe, or something? I don't know. Is it still buffering really bad? David Dog is going to go over to Boston Brian, Trucker John Convoy raid. All right, David Dog, thanks so much for being here. Yeah, go say hi to Brian for me. I'll be in there I'll be over there in a little bit. I guess that's it for today, guys. Thanks for being here. I do appreciate you for coming in and hanging out. We'll see you again tomorrow at 11 a.m. And I'm just trying to think if there's anything I've left out. Don't forget Wednesday. There's still 26 watching, so let me get this out. Don't forget Wednesday, Liberal Dan show at 7 p.m. Central Time. Liberal Dan's special guest will be John Fugelsang, which I'm excited for Liberal Dan because that's a pretty good get. That's a good get to have as on your show. John Fugelsang is pretty well known. He's got a new book out. He's John Fugelsang has been on national TV shows, national radio shows, so has a national audience. So I think it's really good. So I hope everyone will tune in to see that episode of Liberal Dan Wednesday night, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Time. John Fugelsang, the guest, the special guest, and tomorrow. At tomorrow's show, I'll make sure that we get the link into Liberal Dan on tomorrow's show. Roger Daughter says entry-level MacBook Pro M4 is $1,599. Robert Carr says thanks, great show. Bye everyone. Stay safe. Insane. Thanks, Robert Carr, for being here. I appreciate you. Boy, that 2 hours went by pretty fast. I gotta say, it does go by pretty fast. Mad Max says thanks, TJ. Have a great day. Stay cool. And then insane Vegas heat. Yeah, we've got a little bit of cooling, but it is pretty sticky out. We've got some humidity. It's not like Florida humidity, but it is like yesterday when I was walking around. I definitely felt the stickiness as I was walking. So we've got a little bit of moisture coming through here, and it's supposed to rain today and stuff. Anyhow, that's it for today, guys. I guess. Thanks for being here. I guess we covered just about everything. And I guess I got everything. I'm just trying to think if I forgot anything. I don't think so. I almost feel like talking for another hour, though. I just feel like we didn't talk very much. But I guess we covered everything that we need to cover, adequately shitting on Trump, I think. Let's make sure that we stay vigilant. I probably need to start posting the Washington, D.C. numbers to call your representatives. We need to start pushing that, too. It's like a 212 number or whatever. And I should probably put that in my, just have it posted on the background here. I think we need to start, calling our representatives and really telling them that, we will have their back if they just come out fighting these Republicans and fighting against tyranny and against this takeover that Trump is attempting. We need to really let our representatives know that we have their back. Because if we do that, I think, because I know one of the complaints, and I'll just leave on this, one of the complaints that I hear a lot in this chat, in other chat rooms and other places, is that Democrats don't do enough. They're not fighting. We have had conversations about the word fighting, but they're not being active enough. They're not messaging. They're not getting out in front of this. So I'm going to start posting the number, and we should start calling our representatives and let them know we support them. We will support them in coming out against these Republican these Republican their tactics of supporting Trump and walking lockstep with him, that we'll support them in fighting against that, or in bringing that out, and in getting out our message. We need to do something. The one thing that one troll said that I think was right is that the Democratic approval rate is only at 8%. Now, I don't know what the Republican one is, but like I said, I bet you it's not much higher, if it is higher. But we need to call them and tell them, hey, look, we won't hold it against you if you come out and say how horrible Trump's tactics are and what he's doing right now to our country. We won't hold that against you. We will support you. We will vote for you if you come out against these Republicans, like Gavin Newsom is doing. You know, just think if we had Gavin Newsoms all over the country, governors and House reps and senators and even state reps, other governors. You know, just think of that. It would be amazing. All right, so with that, I'll go ahead and end the show. MJ Daniel says, especially if you have a Republican or a rep or senator, turn up the heat and let them know. Just not piss off. Yeah, let them know that we see what you're doing and we don't approve. You know, it goes both ways. All right, guys, get your pen and pad out. Time for today's words of wisdom from Trucker John. Although what I just gave might have been a bonus words of wisdom. All right, guys, so here we go. For today's words of wisdom, they are as such. All right, so
well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid, but doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, the movies and bugs. Shining a light on all the social issues. No shrugs, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. In my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills, it's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows, so go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, it'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. It's so damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life, everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot, you're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.